I was trying to come up with a great joke for this opening, and I couldn't settle on a good one. Mainly because I had a vast amount of options. Ah. The Vast of Night stars Sierra McCormick as a switchboard operator in 1950s New Mexico, who teams up with a radio DJ played by Jake Horowitz, and the two investigate a strange sound interrupting both their feeds. Over the course of a single night, the two find themselves moving all over town, talking to various people, and discovering things that could forever change their worlds. This is framed as a story within a story. It starts as a close-up of a television, showing us an episode of this anthology series known as the Paradox Theater. It's kind of this take on The Twilight Zone. So if you're a fan of shows like that, or The X-Files, this is going to be right up your alley. The title sequence is presented as if it were an episode of this TV show, and certain shots will pan back and be viewed as if we were watching them on the television. And it really feels like we're transported into this totally different time period. The aesthetic is on point, from the costume design, the set pieces, to the eerie soundtrack. It embodies the 1950s look down to a T. One of the only things I'd say in terms of the setup that doesn't really work is the color palette can be a bit too dark at times. While yeah, it takes place at night and that's kind of the point, at times it just felt like there was difficulty distinguishing things that weren't meant to be hidden. Like the fact that we couldn't see these things wasn't meant for suspenseful purposes. Shots of characters walking or having a conversation, and even at the beginning before these mysterious sounds are even mentioned. It appears to be more of an issue with color correction than anything. Everything kind of blends in at times and has this grainy, saturated feel. Despite that, there's still an impressive amount of camera work from director Andrew Patterson, here making his feature debut and also acting as the editor for this film. He goes to show he really knows how to capture the mood seen in these old, creepy sci-fi shows. And the fact that he's even emulating the style goes to show that he has this love for older films and television. The movie's only just under an hour and a half long. For the most part, it's fairly quick-paced, but there are a few weak spots. Mainly in the beginning before we sit down in the switchboard room. It just sets up that the rest of the town's at this basketball game and our two main characters meet each other, and it's just general chit-chat. The performances from both Sierra McCormick and Jake Horowitz are solid, and they exude charisma right from the start. That being said, while they are both enjoyable, I think it could have still gotten to the point a bit quicker. Especially since it's not exactly clear from the beginning what's happening. I actually had to watch the first act of this movie twice because I felt I missed something. But for the most part, when the main events kick off, you're engrossed. What I really appreciated about this movie is that it's mostly dialogue based. A lot of the conversations we're hearing are over the phone or stories that are being told to the main characters. But these stories ante up so much tension that it can send chills down your spine. In fact, I'd say this isn't really action oriented at all. Which makes sense, it was clearly done on a small budget and they can only do so much. But that's the nice thing about horror movies or thrillers. The suspense and terror comes from the implied, not what's actually shown to us. The stories we hear and the things left to our imagination can be frightening, and sometimes that's just enough. A lot of sequences are shown in one continuous take that can last for minutes at a time. Stylistically, this reminded me a lot of independent films from the 90s, such as Kevin Smith or Quentin Tarantino or Paul Thomas Anderson's movies. They used very similar methods of storytelling and shot composure. Again, it's clear that Patterson is showing his general love of film and his influences through stylistic choices such as this. It's a movie that takes place over a very short period of time, that being one night, but still manages to tell us a lot within that one period of time. So I gotta commend it for that. I really enjoy this. For his first feature film, this is an impressive debut from Andrew Patterson. There are some slight pacing issues, mainly in the beginning, and there were some issues from a technical standpoint, with the lack of color correction making some images unnecessarily difficult to make out. But it's a rare dialogue-driven film that's creepy, suspenseful, and keeps you hooked almost the entire time. I really hope we get to see more films like this emerge. The Vast of Night gets an 8 out of 10. So let me know, did you see The Vast of Night, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you like the throwback aesthetic? Did you find it creepy? And do you like more action-driven movies or dialogue-driven movies? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll catch you next time.